He's just day to day, really. I mean, there's a possibility that he could play. We'll just have to. It's one of those deals where we won't know until he shows up and works out and see where he is.
The MRI came back clean, coach.
Yeah, it did. So.
Was he able to do anything today, or just?
No, we really didn't do anything today. So some guys came out and shot, whatever. I mean, we played playing 3 games in 4 days, and then we play every other day after that. So I thought it was a good time to kind of let everybody, have a recovery day, really. So
no issues with Jackson either.
No, I just got the rib thing, so just got hit.
Is this a thing with Brandon where he's going to kind of tell you guys when he feels ready to play? Or is it a situation where the medical staff has to clear him? How do you sort of?
No, I think it's just him. I really do. And like I said, I think it's a possibility that he'll play tomorrow. He was all set to play and just didn't feel that comfortable about it. And we always told him, let's take the high road if we're going to do that, and we'll be cautious of what's going on. So.
And Kenrich mentioned that you showed the guys some of the improvements they made in the past few games on defense. I guess, what have you seen in that area?
Well, as I told you guys, we talk about our defense and what we need to do, but our offense has been a bit culprit of that. Like I said, when we're turning it over 25 times, it puts pressure on your defense that no defense in the NBA could handle. As far as trying to stop breaks that has numbers. You're giving them, 15 extra possessions, that you got to defend. When you do turn it over, it just increases points in the paint, field goal percentage, fast break points. All of those things go up when you're turning the ball over. Last night I thought we did a great job the second half. I think we ended up with 3 turnovers the second half, 3 or 4, I can't remember. But the big thing for me is that we can see when we do that, because we had great shots that we didn't, we had 4 or 5 great looks down the stretch that we just didn't get in the basket. And so those are the ones that we're going to make. So if we can eliminate the turnovers and then have those extra possessions, then I think we'll be fine.
Do you think it's unfair to say that the organization maybe put too much pressure on Drew coming into this season? Do you think that's a?
I don't know if we put too much pressure on him. Our expectations were high, but there's no reason that they shouldn't have been. And I think he'll tell you the same thing. He's just going through a tough time right now. I'm not worried about Drew. He will find his way. He's done it every year that I've been here. I mean, we shouldn't have such short-term memory that we don't remember the fourth game in the Portland game here, in the series there. So he'll find it. What Drew is so conscientious about everything that. He's feeling right now that he needs to get everybody involved, and we had to talk about that today. That hey, I just need for him to be Drew. We'll get it figured out. The other things. So, like I said, I'm not gonna worry about him because, this is my 5th year here, and he's always found a way to step up.
Coach, so many guys to be able to understand to defend at this level, the best guy, and to be able to score 20 a night. I mean, how difficult is that?
It's really, really difficult. That's why the Kawhi Leonards and the Paul Georges of the world are so valued. That when you get a guy that can do like Drew did for us last year and get 20 points and then have to defend all of those guys, it's a monumental task. It's not something that you see 100 guys in the league doing. There's some great scorers in the league, but they don't defend. There's some great defenders in the league, but they don't score. And then you take guys, like I said, Drew and Kawhi and Paul George and some of those guys. They're great scorers and great defenders, so they're a rarity in this league.
We know what Kenrich can contribute as a rebounder and on defense, but what progression, if any, have you seen from him as a jump shooter since he's been here?
Well, I think he's made great strides. The Charlotte game, he probably wouldn't have taken those shots. And he hit 2 big threes for us that got us over the hump. So I just think that he's worked on it, tirelessly. He's worked on it in the off season, every day before practice, every day after practice. So, he's made himself a better shooter.
Is that something that you've been in his ear about? But like, when the ball gets kicked in the corner, you just have to take that
You
one?
got to shoot it, and I think the other thing is that Fred Vinson has done a great job with like he and Lonzo Ball and even Brandon Ingram as far as being prepared to shoot it and shooting it with confidence. So those guys have done Fred's done a great job with those guys, and I think he's instilled confidence in them that make them feel comfortable shooting that shot.
Coach, JJ's really been in a groove this month shooting the ball. Is this something that it's just on him, he's got more comfortable with the team, or have you guys found a way to incorporate him a little bit more in the offense?
I think it's a little bit of both, he was so used to the things that they did at Philly, and obviously having Embiid screening down for you and doing some things like that changes everything. But I think we've got it figured out where we can try to create some shots for him. That was a big thing for us. We weren't creating shots for him from the standpoint of screens or when to pass it or where he wanted it. And, it's just a matter of him playing and us figuring that out. And I think he'll continue to get better. I think we'll continue to figure it out of how to create shots for him. And, obviously, if you give him good looks, he's a terrific three-point shooter.
And going back to Drew, do you like where his looks are coming right now? Or do you feel like there are certain areas where you would like to, get him a couple more shots or get him involved in offense in different ways?
Well, I think we can get him involved in offense in different ways. The one thing I think we're not doing is that we're not playing at the pace that I anticipated. And I think we were number 6 last week overall, but I think there's a whole nother gear that we should be getting to. And I think if we get to that gear, then obviously that creates more shots in the open court.
Is the reason for that just guys not comfortable with each other? Is it not being able to get rebounds?
Well, the rebounding part is a little bit of a factor. Obviously you got to rebound it, which the last 3 games we've gotten much better at that. Other than that, it just, you have to be a willing runner, and I think, sometimes we do it some, but we got to become a team that do it consistently. And I think when we reach that stage, it's going to be better shots for everyone, really.
Coach, you're off to a 2-8 start, obviously not where you wanted to be. And JJ yesterday said, this doesn't feel like the 2-8 team. What do you tell the guys at this point?
I think to me the most important thing is that you stay together. It's easy to fragment, I think, when you're 2-8 and it's somebody's fault other than yours, or, it's the coach's fault, or, I don't see that with this team at all. I feel like they have the confidence to know that at some stage this will get turned around. I think they have the confidence to understand that, we probably had opportunities to win a few games that we let slip away. And the bottom line is that, we still have 72 games to go. So, it's not like we're in dire straits right now, but, obviously we'd like to be winning these games. And I always said that it's really important to win at home, and that's where, we've struggled, on our home court. But, I don't see any quitting these guys. I know there's not going to be any quitting the coaching staff. I do know that for sure. And we'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out, and we'll find a way to make some shots that'll get us over the hump.
How much do you think having Kenrich out there kind of balances out that starting unit with all the little things he does?
I think he's done a good job because I think he makes, winning plays. And to be honest with you, and I'm not kidding you, I never look at his stat line and say, oh wow, he played well, because I know I'm going to get everything that I could possibly get from him every night out. So I don't look and say he's got 15 points, he played great, or he's got 4 points, he didn't play very well, because I know that all the other intangible things that he does that will never show up on the stat sheet.
Coach, how important is it to have a momentum guy like him? Like, for instance, I asked him about that play where he dove, kept the possession going. It kind of tipped it to JJ for that 3 in the 4th quarter. How important is that to the team?
Oh, those kind of guys are invaluable. You take, they always call them coaches players, but I think they're fans players, they're media players,